There you go.
Between Biden and Harris was unusual, so you had unusual circumstances.
There we go.
Join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we are thankful that you have blessed us with the opportunity to join together in this meeting regarding Bourbon County. We ask for your wisdom as we work to make thoughtful and sound decisions for our community. Thank you for placing it on my heart to serve my county in my current capacity as commissioner. Please continue to guide myself and my co-workers so that we may carry out our duties with diligence and grace. Please wrap your arms around us for healing and bring peace. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Approval of the agenda.
I don't have any changes today.
I don't either. I do it all in
Okay.
We're
commissioner comments.
gonna add a line item in new business between A and B for a hard service road plan and a bridge repair request from Eric Bailey. If that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
Fine by me.
I will make a motion that we add that item in new business between item A and item B.
I second.
Beerbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt,
Yes.
Hilburn,
Yes.
Okay. We gotta make my notes. Approval of the minutes from 4/28/25.
I read those long minutes and I move we approve the minutes from 4/28/25.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
Weisenhunt,
Yes.
Hilburn,
Yes.
Beerbauer.
Yes.
Okay. Consent agenda. Approval of the 5/2/25 accounts payable totaling $385,000, $831.02. Approval of 4/30/25 accounts payable totaling $218.70. Approval of 4/30/25 special payroll of $693.13, and approval of the 4/30/25 payroll totaling $297,227.92. And also approving the tax roll corrections.
I move that we approve the consent agenda items A through E.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded.
Milburn,
Yes.
Beerbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt.
Yes. Okay, old business. Policy and procedures, administrative procedure book, adoption of Form 1.1.25, application for road closures.
Okay, so I can start this one if you want me to. I want to talk a little bit about the need for an interim reference addendum or policy addendum book. That's kind of what we're doing to our current book while it's under construction. It will be to the policy and procedural manual dated 2002 as we revisit and revise to account for the immediate needs. As we do this, I would like to assign reference numbers to the forms or the procedures as we make them or revise them so they can be easily referenced. And then when the new book gets to moving, we'll reference the forms in the new book. And so that it can all be tracked easily and utilized to the best of its ability. I spoke to the clerk, and as we revisit the current form, she's assigning numbers, and she has already started that with the new form, which was an old form for the roads. She's added statutes to the back of it. She's added a number to it so it can be referenced. I mean, all things that are just going to make it much, much easier for people moving forward. And as we we move on down the agenda, you'll see we're gonna talk about a letterhead, Mr. Bierbauer, that I think you started. And so, as we do these forms, we'll have a header, a footer, have official letterheads on these documents, so that we know that's the one. It's not just a one, it's the one. And it'll have the header and footer with, proper documentation on the document. So, so it can be recognized as official. Our clerk, she'd like to have an administrative procedure book. So moving forward, on some of these things that don't belong really in the policy and procedures, it could be in that book, I suppose, so.
Okay. I'd like to know a little more about what she's defining in administrative. Because there was a couple of items that in stuff that I was working on today that I thought, okay, yeah, this is something that would be in a like supervisor edition
Yeah,
of the book,
yeah. Not the
for
book
all
itself,
employees.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I don't see nothing wrong with something like that.
yes.
Yeah.
And, so then I think, do you have anything on that part of it? Okay,
Just listening
so.
and taking notes.
Okay. So, other than that, then that 5A2, the adoption of the form, the 1/125. So that's the form that she included in our
Right.
packet. And that's a form I believe she already had. And that's where they are petitioning for a road closure. What she's done is added the relevant statutes to the back and then instructions for whoever is working in there, helping them along, for that document so that things aren't missed. And so I really like that.
Okay.
And so this is what we talked about last time, this form. And on the form, you'll see they've added where I asked that we go ahead and pass those fees along for the publication in the newspaper and the mailers and things like that. And so that's been added to this if you guys wanted to pass that resolution to pass those fees on.
Yeah. Do we want to do that? So I make a motion, or I move that we adopt Form 1.125, application for road closures.
A second.
Can I ask who that came from? You said she, that needs everybody else. It came
Oh, I'm
from the
sorry.
clerk or the deeds office?
The
form.
clerk,
The form, Susan updated that form for us.
Thank you.
With things that we asked for at the last meeting.
Your
Sorry about
power.
that.
I have a question,
Yes, sir.
and maybe a comment.
Mhm.
When you're talking about road closures, you do realize that the property owners on both sides that pay taxes on that for all kinds of years, right to the middle.
Sure.
And then they come back and they ask for a road closure, that means it's saving the county money out the wazoo because the county no longer has to grade road, put gravel or anything on it. But in the meantime, all in years, the county has used that road because they gave them the right of way, but as a taxpayer, I pay to the middle of the road. So you're charging me another fee? I pay taxes, and you're gonna charge a fee for somebody to close the road? Probably never apply to me, but every time I turn around, there's another fee in this county. And that's sad. I mean, I can't go to any office, hardly, and ask for something without paying a fee. I thought that's the reason we paid taxes. Thank you.
Sure.
thank you.
Bierbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt,
Yes.
Milburn.
Yes.
Okay. So, resolution landfill fees waived for Bourbon County cities less than 400 in population.
Are we moving in Eric Bailey? You said between A and B?
No, that was between A and B
Okay,
and new
on new
business.
Okay, new business, okay.
Let me find where you was again.
Do we have a copy of that resolution?
Resolution land fees, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Did we want to discuss some more, or?
Yeah, let me see here. Yes, you did table that, so we can go ahead and discuss it, and here they have the,
Since I had reservations about it last time, and I kind of looked at it, and like I said in the last meeting, on that type of demolition, usually if they just have, regular debris like rock and concrete and that type of stuff, the fee's waived already. And so it would require.
it's waived?
Yeah, if it's just clean debris without wood or metal or other trash in it. They
You don't have to pay for that?
No, 'cause it's fill. It's not a.
C&D waste.
Is Eric here?
Yeah, Eric? Question?
So glad you come to these.
Did you hear the question?
I did not.
So
Okay.
there's a resolution on the table right now
Okay.
to waive landfill fees for Bourbon County cities less than 400 in population. Well, we already don't charge if it's clean C and D, correct?
I believe we charge if it's,
My understanding is if it's rock and concrete and mortar, that type of stuff that isn't, no boards, no trash or metal or any of that sort in there, they waive the fees on it.
okay. I need to check on that before I say yea or nay on that. It was my understanding that we charged on all of our C&D that was brought in because of the concrete and the bricks and what have you that goes up on top up there. We still have to push it around and level it off. But I'll be more than glad to check on that, and I can probably check on it and have an answer here in just less than a couple minutes.
Okay.
Let me do that?
Yeah, do
Yep.
that for me real quick if you don't mind.
Yep.
And then, moving on that, I also said usually, let me get back up into the right one. Waiving these fees would decrease our overall revenue in that offsets expenses that we occur out there. And it's just not landfill that revenue goes to. It goes to the several other departments within Public Works as well. And I would say, I would be okay with it if it was the city itself doing the demolition. And because the small cities of that size, they do have limited budgets.
Yes, that's what it's for.
They do have budgets in that, but like in the case of the gentleman that came here from Redfield, they hired a contractor to tear it down, and then they ended up getting somebody else to haul it off.
First it was Fulton.
Or Fulton. I'm sorry, Fulton, not Redfield. So, I mean, if they're hiring people, that should probably be part of the contract is removal of it
Yeah, if it's an
too.
individual, yeah.
Yeah.
So this resolution, I think we made it pretty specific that it's not to apply to individuals. It's for, if the city was to,
Do the work themselves. and-
yes,
yeah.
yeah, and it's written in here.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I wouldn't want them being able to, because, I mean, they're, most of these townships or incorporated communities, they all get levied taxes just like we do. And, I mean, granted, not at the level that we or the schools are getting, but if they got some type of ordinance or resolution for condemned buildings or something like that,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
maybe
And-
we.
And I
maybe-
see this as, I see this as opportunity to build. I see this as opportunity to grow. I see this as if we can, make it a little bit easier for that small, municipality to get these structures out of there. Now we have a lot, and we've gratified the neighborhood, and the houses around them, may want to do the same, and now somebody wants to build something on that, and now that's, we can grow off this. I see this as something
Well,
like that.
and that is, I mean, but, a lot of times, like the one case there in Fulton, they're not keeping the property. I mean, that property's still owned by somebody, and they got it cleaned off, but apparently it seems like for no cost to them. And, and whether or not they're paying taxes or we're gonna be able to recoup, meaning, that Fulton's gonna be able to recoup any money off of them. And they said they had, what, 8, 9 condemned houses or buildings in
Sure,
their
sure.
community. If they're hiring that out to be done, and nobody's recouping any money off the landowners, I don't think we should, I just don't think we should be helping out in that. But if they're doing the work themselves you know, they're
Yeah.
public works or whatever, then I don't have a problem, you know, helping out, because we do that with Fort Scott on occasion too, so.
Sure, yeah,
Okay, that'd be the only way I would be for it.
I understand. We'll wait for Eric. Get back.
Yeah, we can wait. I'd already checked with the dump supervisor. Or landfill, sorry, not dump. That's dating myself, that was 70s.
That set some people off. Landfill people call it dump.
My dad ran a bulldozer at the landfill or dump, and he was a mechanic for Bourbon County. Him and a guy named Jake Westcoat were two of the dozer operators
Oh, yeah?
at the landfill. When it was at the city down here by Bruce's Marbles, it was the dump. So, I mean, call it what you want, but still dumping.
David, did you read the resolution? Do you want me to just go over it real
Yeah,
quick?
go over it
Okay,
while we're
okay.
waiting on Eric.
Yeah, sure. So, Bourbon County, Kansas landfill fees waived for certain cities in Bourbon County, whereas Bourbon County currently charges all municipalities for dumping their landfill, whereas Bourbon County has been asked to waive dump fees for small municipalities, whereas Bourbon County understands the benefit of supporting small municipalities and encourages new housing development, whereas incorporated municipalities with a population of 400 or less would benefit from having landfill fees waived for the removal of dilapidated structures, whereas incorporated municipalities would be required to follow their code for removal of structures to cover the cost or tear down and transportation to the Bourbon County landfill, whereas incorporated municipalities would be required to show proof of condemnation and tear down process to Bourbon County Commission to have fees waived. Now therefore be it resolved by the Bourbon County, Kansas Board of Commissioners, incorporated municipalities within Bourbon County with a population less than 400 that follow their condemnation removal process shall have landfill fees waived at the Bourbon County landfill. So I think that covers your reservations.
Okay.
You know, my only problem is those small municipalities don't have the equipment to tear down buildings. So they'd have to hire somebody to tear them
Well,
down.
I think that Fort Scott hires people to tear them down too. I don't think they tear them down themselves. I can ask.
But I don't know
But I
that
don't
we've
believe
given
they
free
do.
dumping fees to,
That's included in here. We actually have, an agreement already with Fort Scott, a resolution. You want me to read it again, or if you just wanna,
I'll look at it.
okay.
But if there's no fees, we don't have to wait.
Right. Did you find out?
That's right, if
Eric?
there's no fees. I imagine there is. I've paid to go up there on C&D.
I think there's been a little bit of a discrepancy on some of that. Some we have charged, some we haven't charged. For whatever reason here in the past, we haven't been charging here recently, but my opinion is we should be charging because it's filling up our C&D cell. And chances of it coming in, if you're tearing down a structure, coming in clean is going to be pretty slim of not having some sort of debris in it. So my recommendation would be that anything that goes up in C&D is charged. Now, if somebody brings in a load of clean dirt and we can use that for cover, we'll stockpile that and use that. We could take that for free. But as far as brick and mortar and things like that,
So it hasn't been a consistent, but it has been that way in the past.
yes, 100%.
Is C&D on your fee schedule that you presented there?
Yes, it is on the,
Yes.
yeah.
So,
I don't remember what it was. I looked through all them fees.
I want to say it's $40 is what I want to say off the top of my head, if I remember correctly. And then $50 a ton for out of town, if I remember correctly, but I might have my MSW.
I don't see, I mean, I don't see anything in here on the city one. I've seen where we made some trades, for our service. And there, you know, that they donated some land, is that it? What I'm saying
Correct.
here?
Yes, they donated land to us, and in return, and like I said, I don't have that in front of me, but I believe they get half
Yeah.
half
pay
off
half
of.
fees,
Yes,
yeah.
pay half fees.
Yeah, The small ones just don't have the funds like Fort Scott or the tax base to
But I
pay
don't
those.
even see in that one where it says if they hire out private, because the city does have capabilities of doing their own demolitions and that. I don't understand why, if you're gonna charge, or I mean, if you're gonna end up having to have somebody else do it, why you don't include, disposal as part of that agreement.
They could save some money on how much they were paying them if they didn't have to pay them
That's
to
true.
dump it too, so.
That's true. Again, we need to be going out, I mean, I don't know, I mean, the city, when, you know, they're going after landowners too, I mean, so.
Yeah, and really, Michael, whenever you're on the land bank, whenever you take some of those, those are still on there, yeah.
Can an additional fee be assessed to them on that? Like for taxes, back taxes, if they're not paying their taxes, most likely if we're tearing down the house, they're not paying taxes.
Well, the city can assess fees to demo, I mean, they can do that.
And then if it sells, they can ask for those at the sale. If it's a tax sale thing, yeah.
The problem is, if it's a demo, there's probably no money there to pay for them.
So you're back to just gratification of in the possibility of getting something else on that lot. With it standing there, there's no possibility of you ever collecting any taxes on it.
We hope there is.
I mean, maybe the regular taxes, but what I'm saying is, you know, of a new structure, of new possible development.
Okay. I don't know. As long as it's not, I mean, I don't know. You guys are already saying that, the way it reads there is that contractors would be able to do it, so I guess, we'll see how much that cost us in the end there.
Yeah, Eric, I think, told me that it didn't cost, we don't pay anything to have it there, just the dump thing rolling it around, so it
We
really
don't pay to haul it off, but we are.
Yeah.
We are.
making the hill bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are taking
Yeah.
up property.
Yeah, but I'd rather all of the garbage be in one spot rather than all over the county, personally.
Was you gonna say, add something?
I was just gonna say, the only thing that we have on C&D is our fuel for our equipment costs and our manpower is all we have on C&D. Or the MSW, we have to load it and haul it actually to Allen County to
Right.
landfill.
Right. Okay.
Any more discussion? Brendan?
I just don't know how we get around the city not paying for it when they have to hire a contractor. That's my only thing. I mean, because Fulton is never gonna buy an excavator or a dozer, those are $500,000. And a good used one's $75,000. So then they're gonna hire somebody to come knock it down and haul it off.
Well, I think what they just said there, the city of Fort Scott doesn't do it themselves, they hire it out, so I'm assuming that that's what's gonna happen here
And
too.
we tell the contractors to bring us the dump receipts, and then they reimburse you for the dump receipts.
So if they hire somebody else out.
So if they
Well,
hire
I know.
I would say,
I don't like comparing us to other counties, but I know like Lynn County, you get to dump your C&D for free if you're a resident. So if you hire a contractor and they have your address and your signature, they can dump your debris for free. Or at least that's the way I understand it.
well, I mean, and you're saying this is for a reduced rate, not for free.
No, it's for free. Fort Scott has it at a reduced rate according to the previous thing that you just read, the landfill C&D pricing for City of Fort Scott Shared Services Agreement. So theirs is reduced, but they have a little bit of money.
Well, and I'm not speaking for the city or the land bank, but my understanding is they removed the dump fees when they put these demolition bids out to level the playing field so that nobody had to consider whether they were paying for the dump fees down south or at the Bourbon County landfill or not. So what their bid price is doesn't include any dump fees. Then they bring the dump fee tickets to the city and then they reimburse. I guess the county will.
Okay, so the contractor would still get charged
Yes.
pay his bill, and then he would present the receipt to the city.
Right. But what they bid is just to tear it down and haul it off,
Right,
not to dispose of it.
right.
Keeps everybody on a level plane for their bids.
Okay.
But then if we waive it and we don't charge for the dump fees, there's no way to keep track of how much, unless we count ourselves, you know, say, City of Fulton bringing in debris, and our scale operator keeps track of how many loads come in, so that I mean, I would be interested to know at the end of the year just how much, you know, we might be saving them, but how much are we losing?
Right.
That could be in their internal policies that they weigh everything, whether they're
They
weighing it
have
or
to
not,
weigh it.
yeah.
They have to
Anything
weigh
that goes through
everything
the gates
anyways.
So that's in their policies already then, so that you would be able to
But
track
they
it.
would have to
that
keep track of.
Tracking
of-
systems
Just
over
gotta
there.
know that that's what's coming
of
in.
who was dumping and who they was dumping it for. So if they had used a local contractor to tear it down and haul it off, the
Then they
local
should-
contractor would have to make sure that they was letting
They would have to, I would say have to submit a
the
letter.
C&D landfill know that it was for the city of Fulton or the city of Bronson or the city of Redfield.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't,
I have a question.
yes,
And maybe just a comment. If you will look back in the meeting notes, Fort Scott took in an agreement with the county because they took in lieu of payment for dumping a certain amount,
yeah.
that they allowed them to get the land to expand that land from Fort
Yeah,
Scott.
down there. She did a
You
good
might want to
job.
look into
Cover
that.
That was
So-
what we were just talking about.
So-
There was a land
That's allowed-
agreement with,
That's the reason they're getting a reduced rate is because they gave them the land.
yeah.
And nobody ever said that there was a drop dead date for whenever or whatever.
Yeah, it says till
Thank you.
So right here,
the end of time.
right here, they wouldn't even get the discount. It says right here, incorporated municipalities will be required to follow their codes for removal of structures, cover the cost of tear down and transportation to the Bourbon County landfill. And incorporated municipalities will be required to show proof of condemnation and tear down process to the Bourbon County Commission to have fees waived.
Okay.
So if they don't follow the steps, they don't get the, and that would have to be for every single building,
Okay.
so.
That's to keep asbestos out of your dump.
Yes.
Well, I really like the possibility of people wanting to clean up the county, or
With-
the cities wanting to
well,
clean
with
up their
the-
cities, I suppose. This isn't for just,
With the way that one is
Yeah.
written, I will make a motion that we adopt that resolution.
second.
Eisenhunt,
Yes.
Milgren,
Yes.
Beerbauer.
No.
You want me
I
to
just
sign?
want to take the resolution.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We already voted on the resolution fees to charge for road closure petitioning.
Did we vote on, I mean, we did that when we
Yeah,
did the
yes,
fee.
and I have a
Yeah,
note here that we
okay.
tabled that too, to go ahead and check on the fact that it was legal for us to do that, and
Okay.
that was done, so.
Okay, so. Set publication hearing for the vacating of road for May 19th, 2025 at 5:35.
Shall we,
Oh, resolution
Shall
fees
we,
to charge
yes,
for road
yeah,
closure.
yeah.
I thought we already voted on that.
we did, but
Oh, you wanna sign it?
it's finished if we wanna read it and sign it,
Okay. Would you like me to read it then?
unless you want me to do it.
Whereas the Board of Bourbon County Commission follows KSA 68-102 for the vacation of roads. Whereas the Board of Bourbon County Commission must publish notice in the local newspaper and mail certified letters to all adjacent property owners. Whereas the Board of Bourbon County Commission is requiring a petitioner of the vacation of the road to cover the cost of publication and certified mailings as part of their application process. Whereas the Board of Bourbon County Commission adopts the application attached to this resolution as their formal document for application of permanent road closure, Form 1.1.25. Now therefore be it resolved by the Bourbon County, Kansas Board of Commissioners, the Board of Bourbon County Commission adopts the application for permanent road closure as their official application for road closures and will require the publication mailing costs for the vacation of a road to be paid by the petitioner and to be collected by the county clerk.
Can you make a motion?
I move we pass this resolution.
I'll second.
Milburn,
Yes.
Beerbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt.
Yes. Okay.
Would you tell me what number that resolution got?
Okay.
This last one?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 1625. And the one before is 1525.
Okay.
So now we will move on to
Thank you.
item D, set public hearing for vacation of road for May 19th, 2025 at 5:35.
Might have an issue here. I'm gonna be 2 weeks post-op on that one. I don't know if I'll be here on the 12th. Well, I'll be here on the 12th. I don't think I'm gonna be here on the 19th.
Monday's the 19th.
Yeah.
Well, two of us will
I
be
mean,
here.
you two can do it, yeah. But I'm just saying as I will not be
You gotta be
here.
ready to go by the 20th though.
Maybe.
And only two individuals, you have to be here for that.
Two of us would have to be here for that.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Okay.
it's on a Monday, so we're gonna be here anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I'll make a motion to the public hearing for vacation of road for May 19th, 2025 at 5:35.
Can I add to that, just so we're, or you can add it, the description of the road?
Oh, yeah, okay. So we will have, on May 19th, 2025 at 5:35, we'll have public hearing for vacating the road alley in between Lot 3 and 4 of sub of Lot 1, Block 8 in Hyattville, Kansas.
A second.
Okay.
Beerbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt,
Yes,
Milburn.
Yes.
okay. Budget work session update.
We're moving along, aren't we? So on the budget work session update, I think this is just, I wanted to put out a reminder that we've asked for your budget documents by June 1st. We'd like them to be detailed, greatly detailed. Is that, you guys in agreement?
Yes,
We want them
yes.
really
Yeah.
lined out.
Line items for
I think
every
that,
expense.
you know, when we put things to paper, we kind of, you know, are able to see it and commit to those numbers, and so that is that. And thank you guys for all jumping in there and quickly having a budget meeting, and for Greg for joining on that too.
I hope you learned a lot.
For action.
All right. So item F, work comp procedures and benefits. Mr. Beerbauer,
I
you
got
have
something I
the
need to
floor.
make copies of before we can proceed, so we're gonna take a quick recess.
Okay, guess we'll take a 3-minute recess.
Okay.
Is that enough time?
It won't take me that long.
Okay.
Here's the payroll on AP, if you guys want to start signing.
Oh,
those
thank
that
you. I
approved.
don't have to stay later. That'd be wonderful. Is this everybody else?
Yes, you can just,
Okay.
yep. sign right there. And then these are just the minutes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Oh my, wasn't that, oh my gosh. I did read those ahead of time, so thank goodness they were in an email. Those are the minutes. Did you read them?
It would take me 4.5 hours to read all
They
this.
were extensive. I read them before. I read them on my email, so.
Yeah, I usually at least glance through them to make sure
That's a copy.
nothing catches my eye.
It's just a copy out of the book, but the other part will be.
May I see your resolutions, the 2 resolutions? Now that they're signed and adopted.
All right.
Thank you. I'm trying to track things that I do. We do so much, it's hard to remember.
We ready to proceed? We're gonna wait for Bob.
I had that one.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah. I saved my
I
things
figured
from
you
last
had the
week.
book here.
I did. I do have that too. It's right here.
Mr. Beerbauer, you have the floor.
All right, so what I handed you was a copy of our current handbook policy on workman's compensation. And then, you know, we had Mr. Reed come here and talk to us about some of this. So I just want to kind of highlight some of this. You know, the workman's comp, it even says it right in here. Its purpose is to protect employees from economic hardship following an on-the-job injury. Usually with added medical expenses, cost amount, a lot higher than the 66.67% that workman comp provides to the employee, even in lieu of taxes on that. This could, you know, the injury could cause a spouse of an injured person to lose their job or have to quit their job to care for that person. Same way with a lot of these employees, they got to, you know, second and third jobs because we don't, well, I won't go into that part, but, you know, they're not gonna be able to work those other jobs, so then that kind of lowers their overall that, and their expenses just keep mounting for the medical deal. So I've worked out what I thought should be some changes to the policy. There's 2 copies there. So on that, in our policy manual, on the section regarding benefits, workman's compensation, I'd like to change paragraph 3 and 4 to read as follows. Any employee injured while on the job will be placed on administrative leave with pay until their status is determined. When an employee is placed on workman's compensation relating to an on-job injury, they will remain on administrative leave with 50% compensation, then will remain in that status until release from workman's compensation. And then the final paragraph 4, employees returning to work after being absent due to a work-related injury must report to their supervisor prior to beginning work and must have a completed return to work form by their doctor.
You're probably gonna have to, if you wanna change your work comp policy, you have K-Camp, right?
Yes.
You probably need to run that by K-Camp. I'm not a work comp attorney, but it all deals with during the course of employment, arising out of employment. And I'd hate to see that anything that we did would jeopardize the work comp claim. So before you adopt this, I think it would only be prudent to get a hold of K-Camp and make sure that if the county has a policy to continue to pay an employee if they're getting work comp benefits, that doesn't jeopardize their work comp claim, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, because I don't do work comp, but K-Camp will know.
Okay,
I
I'll
would like
reach
to
out to
know,
them.
I would like to know what that would do to their disability.
At what time? I mean, they don't get disability till they're off workman's comp.
The short-term disability insurance don't kick in?
Yeah, it should.
It
kick
does
in
kick
immediately.
in. As soon as they start running their paperwork, they will be getting those within a couple of weeks, so
And
they
does every
receive-
employee have short-term, or is it?
That's
some-
an elected
Elected,
benefit, so if
elected,
they
yeah.
don't, they have not
Yeah.
have it, they.
I think we could do some research and find out. I mean, I think the
I
idea
know,
is-
yeah, I did research that it, paying out additional benefits doesn't,
What is it, David?
paying in addition to workman's comp is not, it is, you can do that.
Okay, like as
Yeah.
a benefit, like rather than an addendum to the workman's comp, you want to add it as a
Well,
benefit.
no,
from
I
Bourbon
mean, what it
County?
is that any company can pay more than what the workman's comp. They can add to it. But again, I agree with what Mr. Johnson said,
Okay.
that we need to check with our insurance carrier to make sure
And they're
that
here,
they're.
and they just said that it is not, it's not on the job. Our short-term disability is not on the job. They don't get paid for that. It's only off-the-job short-term disability.
Okay. I'll check with K-Camp and we can bring it back for a later discussion if you want.
I hate for you to do something and then it jeopardizes the
Yeah.
comp benefit.
Yeah, I don't want to jeopardize the whole thing, but I want to see them get some additional, yeah.
It's a good
Okay,
thought.
that's what I have on that one.
Okay,
Okay.
So we're going to table it?
yes, I'll write that again.
Yeah.
And side note, Susan did add to the bottom, future business has been tabled from past meetings so that we could, just in case we weren't keeping a close enough eye on what we tabled, it's down there for a constant
Okay.
reminder. When do you want to table it to?
Let's go. Well, we can do it next week. I'll be ready by next week.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah, 12th.
12, okay. Just for my notes, just in case.
Okay. Item G is human resources.
Man, I don't know why that ended up on one of you guys. I mean, that was my question at the last meeting, was where we stood on with
Well,
Commissioner Kruger's
I mean,
position.
I think, well, we can vote to temporarily put one of us.
I think,
on the grievance
yeah,
file.
and I think that's what I was thinking, is that we just go ahead and put,
If we're gonna do it, we need to look into our budget and see if we can afford to hire.
well, I was thinking that we could put somebody, one of us take this position, and then, when we get to budget time, see about what, looking at other options to that, to the whole thing, so. Are you human resource?
Well, Commissioner Milborn asked me to handle a couple items that have come up, and I told her I would, so I don't know as though I'm human resources, but I can probably mediate a few problems.
I think that's what Commissioner Kruger's position was, as a liaison to human resources, was handling on issues of discipline or that type of.
I mean,
Yeah.
most counties don't have a human resources. It usually runs through the clerk's office.
Mhm.
And then if it doesn't get settled there, then it usually goes to the county counselor.
Yeah, I didn't know why that was separated. I questioned that in week one when it was, but.
I mean, I've represented 4 or 5 counties, and most of the time, the human resources, unless you have a county administrator, which is pretty rare in small counties. Wilson County has one, I think. Harvey County might, but, most of the time, the human resources is kind of in addition to the clerk's office.
Mhm. And they do it. I mean, they take care of payroll, they take
I
care
handle
of.
benefits, I handle
Yeah.
payroll, I handle all
Yeah.
that.
So when you talk about human resources, are you talking about?
I think they're talking about the disciplinary side of it.
Like
Yeah.
grievances.
Yeah.
Grievances.
Yeah.
And you have a handbook that kind of deals with that, and I'm glad to assist with that, and I will. But, the kind of boots on the ground, hands,
Yeah, Yeah.
in the courthouse usually have a better grasp of that. When it comes to disciplinary issues, it usually goes through the county counselor, and if it doesn't work out, it comes to the commission, or it's kind of at the same time. Your handbook, there's a procedure, but,
yeah.
I mean, I'm glad to help in whatever manner, but
I mean, more reviewing on that stuff too, so I think, like I said, I think just something to get us going and get that question answered. And then, when we get closer into the budget, we'll know whether or not we can expand training for,
I mean, I can
for
talk
the
to.
clerk's office or go somewhere else, or,
I mean, I can talk to Susan and her office and come up with kind of a plan if you want.
yeah.
That's the way most counties would operate.
Okay.
And then if it gets past kind of the benefits or some of that. if
I
you-
really hate touching on this in the meeting, but there is, possibility for a conflict of interest there
Sure,
for at least some complaints.
yeah, there could be, and I'd be glad to help on any of that. That's what,
I'm just saying is that we do it this way until we get, and then once we start looking at 2026
Yeah.
budget, we'll kind of have an idea where we're at and whether or not we can expand, do something different.
well, the two
We
that
have a
Commissioner
veteran
Milmore,
handbook for now.
she asked me to assist
Yeah.
on 2 of them, and I'm happy to do that, and maybe
I saw
We
it
can-
on email. So,
we can
yeah.
do some
Yeah.
research, come up with maybe a plan going forward.
Okay,
But you're right, it could be a conflict.
all right.
It's not with me,
No, not with you.
so.
Okay, so got
Okay.
that part worked out.
All right, hiring of a floater position. You have any updates on that?
Okay, just a moment. So, last week, we allocated $13,000 for a floater position that will answer to the commission. That was for somebody that's gonna help in multiple offices, so it's not to come out of one budget, so the commission is doing that, and they're answering to the commission also, again, because they're coming out of multiple budgets. And, again, we're gonna refer to the handbook as stated on page 7, line item 13 of the Employee Policy and Procedure Manual dated April 2002. Will, whenever practical, make promotions or fill vacancies from within. So I move we hire Jennifer Hawkins for the posted position of floater that will report to the commission. She'll cross-train, she'll help where she's needed. She's pretty skilled in she's worked all over the courthouse here. So I think it's pretty necessary that she be here.
I'll second
Beerbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt,
it. Yes.
Milburn.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Item 6, public comments for items not on the agenda. Did anybody sign up today?
I
Did
think
not
so.
receive-
What is this then? Is
Oh,
that,
nobody handed me anything, so.
this was on my,
Oh, he wants to have a meeting with the commission at some point about, because everybody got a copy of that, I think.
Okay, I didn't receive
Yeah, I did
anything.
too.
We can
you
talk.
got that too?
Yeah.
Keep it handy, we'll talk about it in a little bit.
So no public comment, there'll be.
No
So no
public.
public comments? All right.
All right.
New business. Mr. Don George from KDWP.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
This is better than standing back at the podium. I'm, the new commissioners and such, I'm Don George, Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks, a district fisheries biologist, and I'm in charge of Bourbon County and numerous other ones, but Bourbon's my focus tonight. You know or may not know that there is an existing grant from Wildlife and Parks to help with the renovation of Elm Creek, the dam. It's $40,000 from Wildlife and Parks, and my upper people that are in charge of those funds have asked me to check on the progress and status with the county and see if we can help expedite some of this, see what your feelings are about the renovation of that dam.
Mr. George, would you mind if we allowed Eric to join this conversation?
Absolutely. I thought he just popped.
He does.
Ready?
Yes, yes.
The first thing I'd recommend or asking the commission to do is to renew the current grant that you have. It's was set on a deadline, and that deadline's expired, so that I brought copies
I didn't know we were on one.
Excuse me, sir?
I did not know we were already on a grant.
Yes, sir. I made several copies, so.
Let Mr. Rivera see that.
So you said it's
Are
expired?
you the attorney?
That was one of the that was the original.
That's the original.
Maybe, depends on.
This is an extension of a current grant that the county signed off on and was approved several years ago. So do you need a
This
copy,
is the
ma'am?
original?
Yes, thank you.
Pass it on.
It basically just says that it's extending the grant for another year, and that in the year 2026, if this project has been finished, that all the invoices have to be submitted by March the 1st. So, and if we got in the middle of this and we're working on this project and it's not finished by March 1st of 2026, we just simply ask for another extension. We've never turned one down yet that when a project was actively being worked on, work toward finishing it.
So we do the extension, if we're not done, we ask for another extension.
Or if we choose to kick it back. You know, this is, I spoke with Mr. George over the weekend. He called and wanted to, you know, visit and give an update on where he was at with this. I mean, this has been going on for years, since August 2021. The grant, from my understanding, is for $40,000 up to, and the project is much more extensive and will cost a lot of dollars, a lot of taxpayer dollars. Furthermore, once you drain that lake and start to working on it, it could be just not even feasible at that point. And then at that point, we've made it worse. And so we can also choose to kick this grant back and tell them to give it to somebody else. And we can work on other grants with Mr. George.
That's true.
Okay,
Not
so
really.
you said in the beginning you had a recommendation to remove the existing grant. Is this the one she's talking about?
Renew this, yes, sir.
Oh, renew it. I thought
Renew
you said
it.
remove.
Renew this existing
Turn my
grant,
hearing aids up.
and then if the commission desires that, turn right around and reapply for a phase 2, a second grant that would enable us to put another $40,000 into this mix. And Micah is right, and Eric's brought this up in past meetings, we don't have a real good estimate of exactly what the dam repair is gonna cost. But for sure, it's a lot more now than it was 5 years ago when we were trying to get it done.
Well, and also, you guys need to know, it's 25-75, you guys pay 75%.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
guys are gonna pay 120,000, state pays 40.
Yeah.
And some of that may not be cash, but
Look into it.
He did. He had
In
an engineer
kind.
look into it, and it was deemed safe, although it is leaking. And so my fear is we get in there, we drain it out, and now there's nothing because we can't afford to fix it because it's more extensive than what they thought, which a lot of jobs are like that. Thank you. Oh.
You mind if I make a couple comments?
Please, that's why you're here.
Okay.
Did the paper ever make it back over here?
That's the original.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
First, I think we need to look at the minutes over this from the previous commission, because I know they had a long discussion. Dawn, do you remember how that all went from the previous meetings that we had? Because I thought they may have canceled the grant, but I'm not for sure. So that may need to be something. I know you can re-enter back into it possibly, I'm not for sure.
yeah, we need to do that, because to my knowledge, I wouldn't be here if I thought,
Okay.
and made numerous attempts in the last couple of years if the
Sure.
commission had ever canceled it.
Sure.
Or made the decision to give it back, I suppose.
Yeah.
And if they did, I mean, if they did, we don't have to, but we can still make that same decision, I
Sure.
suppose.
I just know it was a discussion
It
before.
was, okay, I didn't know that.
So I want to make sure that you're aware of that, and we probably ought to look at the previous minutes to see what it says. Second, comment I have is I did speak with Ag Engineering today. Frank Young is the engineer, and he strongly encourages you to do and I want to make sure I say the right words, a safety inspection on the dam, so that way you come in, inspect the entire dam, and give you recommendations on everything that he notices out there during that inspection. His cost would be around $3,000 to do that, but the only kicker is he's about 60 days out to get that done. But I know that there's one area that this grant was wrote for. There's one area that's leaking, but when you get behind the dam, there's at least 3 areas that there's water that we know is coming out, and we know we have to deal with the valve as well. So I'm not for sure what all it will entail, but my opinion, I would strongly encourage you to do the inspection, so that way we get a detailed report from an engineer that says what should be done.
I agree. For sure.
When do you gotta have an answer on the grant to extend it?
Let me, as soon as I can. The end of our fiscal year, of course, is the end of June, and we like to have this wrapped up prior to that for our finances. And reapplying for a second grant of phase 2, so we can keep these straight. That needs to be approved by you folks and signed off by me, preferably by the end of May. But if I know it's coming, I can I can tie it down and we can submit it later in June.
Well, I don't think it would be that long. I mean, because we don't need to have it inspected prior to renewing the grant. But we just gotta be able to, if we're gonna get the grant, we gotta be able to come up with $120,000.
And I want to clarify that because the amount was written down, yes, but that includes cost shares, your workforce doing work. It's not that much cash money out.
Okay.
But I also want to add is that we don't pay until the project's done.
Okay.
You issue me the forms and stuff that shows so many man hours on this equipment, contractor coming in, this amount, and then we total all that up, and then I issue a request for you to be refunded that grant amount.
Okay.
So we don't pay in advance.
And I also want to be straightforward that grant was for one specific area, not for all the other areas that I mentioned. So if you do get an inspection, choose to do that, then that way we would know exactly what we need to go after for dollar amounts for the
Okay.
total inspection.
And I made some, we talked this morning, and I made one of my phone calls. And I'm gonna email him all of this information, and then he is gonna see if he can find us some other money.
Good.
For the lake. So, there's other avenues other than just
Right.
using the
Yeah,
Department
we
of Wildlife
discussed
and
that
Parks.
the other day too, about looking for other grants too.
So, and
I agree with Eric's request, recommendation about the engineering report. We need to have something to start off on. And if anything, when we started this ball rolling 5 years ago, I don't think we had that many leaks coming through the dam that I remember.
I know we had one area of concern.
We did,
You
but
could hear.
Yeah.
it seems like in this
Well,
short
and they're
period
gonna,
of time.
as long as that keeps going unfixed, it's, water's just gonna keep causing it's
This is a WPA
Right.
project. It has a lot of historical value
Right.
besides the recreational opportunities here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
those people worked awfully hard to make that lake.
Yes.
And they were artists. If you look at some of the stone buildings that are out there, the techniques and things that they used, always impressed me, that people worked that hard.
Well, we got
back then.
people out there now, we got a great group of volunteers that are working to keep that
Yes.
restored, so.
Who do we have that works for the commission that can go look for some of those grants?
We do not have a grant person,
Do you have an economic development person?
no, not yet, we're still working on that too. But I think we could, I mean, there's enough people, like you got a gentleman, I imagine he's looking for grants. I mean, whoever you're looking for, whoever you're talking to about money, so
Yeah, maybe.
maybe. Yeah, that's,
And I
give me
wanted
much
to-
confidence, maybe.
No, the chuckle didn't sound very good, did it?
I called somebody in Topeka, so we'll leave it at that, and they're gonna,
National Guard.
well, if we can get the National Guard engineers to come do the work, that would be all
Another
right.
question is, I know, if we book a motel room down here, we pay a extra tax, to stay one night, and that's supposed to go in as a economic development, visitor improvement, opportunities and things. Doesn't some of those funds fall right into fixing up this lake and making it
Yeah.
more attractive, the eco development? And those
It's
funds
a
are
tourism
probably
tax.
tied
It's
up,
usually-
but
It's like a night tax, or that's what you mean, like the extra tax on a motel. room.
Transit tax.
Yeah,
Goes to the city.
yeah, it's not a county tax usually.
Yeah, that's probably going to the
but
city.
those funds go back to the city?
I think
Yeah.
so,
Transit gets tax.
yeah, generally.
The project like this improves the city,
Is it a
it
city-
attracts
is it a
people to
city
this
lake?
area.
Is it a city lake?
I suppose we could go to the city and ask them for some help if it attracts people to the city.
I-
I'd say we look into it, but, and, we'll reach out, I mean, if anybody knows some people that would,
I mean, having that
that are interested in
$3,000
doing some grant, huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm fine. You know, just come back, I would say by next week at the latest. I mean, I'd be ready to do it tonight, get that grant going and get it moving on down the road. Get the engineer out there and get to knowing where we're at, and, we could do those two things, and then whoever you're talking with, and,
Well, and I didn't even think about calling the National Guard. We'll call them, see if they need a project to do.
I don't
I mean,
know, they haven't been doing local projects for many years, but we used to.
I mean, they can renew
Yeah.
the grant, and if they decide they don't want to, they can give it back.
Sure.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that-
So I'd say,
That's all we do. We
Yeah.
as
should
far as
just
what
go
we
ahead.
got going on here tonight,
Yeah.
I'd go with that.
I mean, you can renew it, and you can always, then they could get the.
If we find out it's too extensive, give it back, Bob. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I think getting the
Yeah.
$3,000 study is probably a really good
Yeah, I think
idea.
that's smart.
But you can renew the grant, get the study, if it comes back it's gonna cost $1 million, you can say, hey, have your money back.
Right.
Or
And I had an individual contact me before we took over office that said, she was a grant writer, and she said that, she had a similar grant to what you were talking about out there, but it had like a January 31st deadline on it, and I told her to reach out to the former, but I've never heard any more from her, so.
I think it sounds like a good idea to renew what we have,
Yes.
explore the opportunities for phase
Absolutely.
two.
Yeah, I would move that we approve the
Extension.
moving of the grant application forward tonight.
And that's the renewal of the
The
current phase
extension,
one.
I think,
Yeah.
is what you meant, right?
Huh?
Yeah, the extension.
The current
Yeah, we'll
phase
go
one
ahead
that
and,
he's talking
he's
about.
making a motion to extend the grant that we have now.
Yes,
We'll extend that, and then we'll
Second.
pay for our study for safety.
right, pay for the safety.
So anyways, I make a motion that we extend the current grant.
I'll second.
Good. This one's done.
Vice
Um,
Mayor.
Yes.
The phase,
Okay. Milton.
Yeah.
sorry,
Think
I'm
about it.
excited.
Beer bars, yes,
I like to see forward movement.
I agree.
Phase two would be trying to write another grant with different cost share, more, less to the county, more to the department. My max is still 40,000, but we can work with, Eric and I can work with this and come up with some numbers, I hope, on the drain structure and all that, and come back to the commission with some numbers and see where you want to go with those. And his safety study on the dam, regardless of wildlife and parks involvement at all, you need to have that done. You got traffic going across there, school buses and stuff, you need to know if that's a big liability.
Absolutely.
So he can.
I agree. So I'll move that we approve the safety study from Ag Engineering,
That's pretty common.
I will second that.
Safety inspection, yeah.
safety
Safety
inspection.
inspection.
yeah. So I moved, he seconded.
Okay.
And if it is a high hazard dam, declared that, it may put you in a different category, different pot of money, if you'll think of it that way, to try to get funds, other funds.
Right.
As of right now, it's a low hazard, just so.
But we need to have this study done.
We still
Because
need to
it's
have-
been 5 years since we've had
I'm
one.
Yes.
happy, I'm happy with
Yes.
this. I want us
Yes.
moving
Trying to
forward
close a
on that.
road.
So on the safety inspection, Milburn,
Yes.
Beerbauer,
Yes.
George, do you need
Yes.
this notarized?
What?
It looks like it's written for a notary.
We don't need it notarized.
Okay.
We've not done it in the past.
Okay, this Assistant Secretary of Operations, is that you?
No, ma'am.
Where do you want us to sign?
All I need is the bottom 2 lines.
That'd be
It'd be great.
the chairman.
Oh, so you just want one, you just want the chairman to sign?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am. His title, signature, and the date.
You wanna know where
Is this
that
the-
is?
Is this the one you need me to sign?
Just put, yeah, and put your title Chairman, Bourbon County Bourbon
140th
Chairman, I
and-
guess. Chairman
Fern.
of County of Bourbon.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you got, so you got Fort Lee.
Cedar Creek is
It's just all creeks.
150,
We're gonna have lots of talk.
It's not on.
155th in
Cedar
Kansas.
Creek's over here, it's a big lake. And then you got Rock
Is it
Creek,
fifth?
Fort Scott
Yeah.
Lakes, Elm Creek Lake, and,
What's the one over there by
Fisher's
the
Assistance
county line?
Program.
Bourbon Allen.
Bourbon Allen County.
For the things that we think more sensitive.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I mean, we got
Thank you.
5 lakes,
Okay.
5 good lakes in Bourbon County.
Do we
Then
need
you
to
got
say what?
Crawford County, you got Bone
Do
County,
what?
Do we
Bourbon,
need to
and
say
all
what
them.
fund that 3,000's coming out of?
So,
No,
I mean, it's a pretty good,
What
if
fund?
you like
Out
to
of the
fish
commission
and
Oh, okay.
duck hunt and that type of
We're gonna
stuff.
spend all our
I
money.
know a lot of people go to Farmington.
Yeah,
That's 2 days in a row we spent money.
thank you, Mr. George.
Yeah, we spent it on a different fund last time.
This is gonna be a lot of extra work. It'll be beneficial, and it's, thank you, ma'am. It's Eric here, it's gonna be biting off a lot more work to do, and me, but you're gonna be busy for a while.
We'll get it.
I appreciate your time. You have all my contact numbers. If you have an idea, a suggestion, a question, whatever, you call me, okay?
Absolutely,
We want to continue this forward movement.
I agree.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
Thank you.
Do you have me
Thank
down?
you.
Yep. You got me next?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so,
County.
See you, Eric.
See ya.
County Leatherhead.
no, add,
Oh, yeah, your deal, hard services.
Eric Bailey for hard surface roads and, bridge repair request.
Which way do you want to go first?
Whichever one you wanna
Hard
talk
road
about.
If you want, because that's
Okay.
gonna be the easy one, I think.
Okay?
Isn't this just what you already gave us?
What we are, yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any
I'm,
more that you want to update, and then I need to know what you want to do on Maple Road there going through Uniontown. If you had a chance to talk with Bob or
I totally forgot.
okay.
No, I don't think what is it?
There's a part of Maple Road in Uniontown.
that was on there, you added that into the
Part
addition,
between the
right?
Right,
schools.
because we're going to talk with him whether we had to do it or not.
Oh.
That's the part between the schools, right? Isn't that what it was?
It's in their city limit, but it's a connecting link from from our road to a highway.
I really don't
And here is
see,
the,
I don't see an issue with it, really.
that is the KAR number or something that she
I mean, most of the time, counties will
referenced.
help with those main thoroughfares through towns. I mean, it's pretty common.
With their school route and
Yeah, I
that
mean,
type of stuff,
I
so.
know Allen, they help
Yeah.
with Moran, Harp, Humboldt, the roads that go through town that connect. I haven't looked this up, but
Yeah.
I guess what's the question? Whether you have to do it or whether you should do it?
Yeah.
Or don't know?
Whether, yeah.
I don't know.
I brought it to the table, you know, for.
This
for
is the road that goes like
for
between the
citizens.
two schools.
Right,
Yep.
yeah. And the additional cost that I seen, and it worked right into your plan, I didn't
Around-
see.
Around
see what-
30,000, a little,
Yeah.
give
Yeah,
or take.
budget for it.
It all depends on how our sales tax dollars come
Yeah.
in, so. Only thing that could happen with that, just so we're upfront, is it may take just a little bit off of Yale Road, but that's, I'm just,
Well, and correct me if when we talked about this in the beginning, I thought this was a two-phase thing anyway.
which part?
On the road out there by Uniontown, the one we're talking about, the school.
No, it would be one.
Because I thought we had to rip it up first and then,
No, we would just go in and surface coat, put a surface coat down
okay.
on that road,
Well,
which I think we
I
could
would
fit it
say
in
as
there
far
and
as
make
your
it-
road plan goes, I would do what you had done first, and then if the money comes in, that you can do this, and the schedule allows you to do this, then go with it, but if not, then we'll, because we know we went the roads that you initially
Yes.
put on there, and this was an addition.
Yes,
So there was purpose for those roads, let's go that route. And
okay,
then this'll be, if we can do it, we can do it. If we can't, then we'll add it to next year.
okay.
I like that.
Here's our plan, just so we're all on the same page, is we'll do majority of our asphalting to start off with, then go to do that in May, June, maybe into a little bit of July, just depends on how weather and everything. Then we'll go to our chip and seal, and we'll let our money continue to build up in there, and then the latter part, we'll go up and do Yale Road so we can have a large buildup in our sales tax fund, so that way we can do as much as possible while we're there.
Okay.
So, why don't we just start out the season doing chip and seal? And let the money build up?
We can, if the weather cooperates. We like for it to be really hot, if at all possible. Hotter the better,
For chip and seal?
but we can do some in June.
Takes
I
away
think I'm
from
just-
Yale Road.
Not if we're letting the money build up.
I think we got enough in there that we can get a little bit of these asphalt jobs done, the smaller ones, and then make sure that we have plenty to do Yale Road. All jokes aside, we will get as much of Yale Road done as possible this year.
What is going on with Yale Road? I'm just kind of stepping in here. A couple.
Yale Road was, what was it, 2 years ago, Brandon? Does that sound
It's
right?
been, well, 3 years, 3 or 4 for the whole thing, 2 for the whole thing. The west end of it was tore up,
That's been 6 or 7 years
6
ago.
or 7 years.
On the west end, but anyhow,
And
it
then
had
2 years ago,
sub-base
they tore the
failure.
rest of it.
Yeah.
So
It had to-
sub-base was pumping up through the dirt and the mud we
So
were
did you
spending.
send it back to gravel or?
We
is
went
that-
up and milled it up, and then we put gravel on top of it, and now to get a good sub-base. We'd like to have around 6 inches of road rock or AB3 built up there, and then we'll put our asphalt on top of it. So that's kind of where we're at on it.
And it gained the same type of notoriety that Garland Road got when they did the exact same thing because of its sub-base, yeah.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
you turned it back to gravel and it was
And we were not very popular
detrimental to the.
for turning it to gravel.
they're-
But it needed to happen in order to get a sub-base put back underneath.
Yeah. So we don't run into that same problem again a few years down the
Right.
road and have
Yeah.
to,
It appeared to be a XYZ, which is a real fine gravel, and that's, once the water got into it, it started pumping, and the road was just coming
And you're
apart.
putting asphalt on it.
We're taking that up, and now we're put road rock down, so we'll get a good hard
Or what, you're getting ready to put asphalt on it? Is that what you're talking about? You're-
on the road rock, the 6 inches.
And then the road itself needs, I mean, we need some ditch work, and we need,
Yep.
I mean, the road needs some work.
there's a lot of roads that way, but I mean, you gotta start somewhere. So
Absolutely.
start with the one that needed, that they already ripped up and work from there.
And then on our chip and seal, we want to go back and do preventative maintenance on what we laid back in 21, I believe was the date that we laid those, and now we'll just
And that's
keep-
Soldier.
That is,
No, yeah. On the state line over
State
there,
line
yeah,
down there,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was,
yeah, and then out on 125th. So we got about 14 miles we want to chip and seal.
Okay. I'm good with that. We gotta make a motion on this? Or we just
It's up
go?
to you whether you adopt, I don't know how that works on, whether you tell me to proceed
We
forward or
could
whether you
probably
adopt
just
it.
tell him to go with his asphalt plan or his hard surface road plan. I don't know.
I didn't see any troubles with it. You made that one
It
supplement.
makes
to
me
it.
nervous.
Yeah. Huh?
Got to believe, trust.
Makes me
Yeah.
We will
nervous.
get Yale Road taken care of.
I move we adopt your plan with your discretion, about, if we have to move or change or do things in the middle, just bring it to the commission and
Okay.
Yeah, just keep the commission up to date on what's going on.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll second.
Beerbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt,
Yes.
Milburn.
yes.
Bridge.
The bridge. It's time again to apply for grants. Last year, we applied for bridge number 19.2 Q.0, which is out at, I'll go ahead and hand these around, that way you guys will, this is what we done last year. I just need to know if you want to apply again. This bridge is on Jayhawk between 195th and 205th. It really needs to be replaced. If you'll read down there at the very bottom, that paragraph at the bottom down there kind of tells you, the bottom of the first page, tells you a little bit of what's going on with the bridge. But this would be just like 170th and Fern, or 160th and Fern, I should say, and then 60th and Grand. And I believe if we look here, and this is last year's prices, so it could be up a little bit or it could be down, but total price would be, our estimated cost was $889,127, and our cost is gonna be around 84,741, so around 85. And if you wanna think about it, we have till May 23rd to apply, so I just have to get this in front of you so I know.
Do you think this thing will cost us about what the one out at 60th and Grand did?
I think it's gonna cost you roughly around 85 is what I think it's going
That's
to.
gonna be our cost.
It's gonna be our cost, is what their estimate was, and their estimate on 60th and Grand was pretty much very close.
Is this something that's been figured into this year's budget, and you're just double asking about it? or-
No, this is, you never know whether they're gonna have the grants or not, or whether you're gonna be able to apply for them or not, so, they called for projects, so they ask us, or ask all counties to submit your bridge projects. Way we had it before was we had set money, or we had set money aside from our previous FEMA, declaration. When I took over, we had like 300,000 set aside that we were using for as matching funds for this. So we used quite a bit of those up last year with the flood. But we're hoping to be reimbursed here fairly
For this
quickly
other one, yeah.
for the other floods, so
Well,
we
and
can
there's,
reimburse
even
our
if we get the
FEMA.
grant, we're probably not gonna spend a lot of money right up front anyways
Right.
until we
Right.
get
My-
ready for the project.
My only question is if we have to have the 85,000 right then, if you get chosen.
Generally, you don't on those, that I'm aware of.
Budget-wise, I didn't know how all that worked. Whether that money has to be encumbered right at that time if it's chosen.
What's the state's portion?
They would be the,
90/10?
yeah, there's what theirs would, the 804, and we would be the 84. You want one of
It's
these?
like 90/10?
Yeah.
Oh, so this,
If you-
I am
gonna
sorry
pay.
for asking these
No.
questions, so they're asking they're paying a whole lot of
The
the.
state's paying
Yeah.
90%.
So it's
90%, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna pay approximately 85, but they're paying 805, so
Yeah, bridge are extremely
I
expensive.
don't see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't
Go
do
ahead
that
and
then, if you
100%
have
apply.
if you have the
Yeah,
80
go for
or
the-
whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead and, I would make a motion that you apply for the grant.
No guarantee that we'll get
Yeah,
it, but
I
at
mean-
least we need to apply.
Yeah, let's apply and see if we can get another bridge fixed.
Yeah.
In the next couple of years.
I'll second.
Yes.
Milburn,
Yes.
Beerbauer.
Yes.
And are those the only two things I can talk on, or do you want updates on other things or not, or how do you wanna?
Talk about whatever.
Well, I didn't know. I can tell you the roof is off of shelter house number 2 out at Elm Creek. The new one will be going on hopefully tomorrow. Unfortunately, the 2 big trees on each side of it, we had to go ahead and take them down. They were starting, there was sections of it that had died, was dying, afraid it was gonna fall on the structure, and also they were starting to grow and push into the rock, so that will be done as well. Also, it's culvert, first of the month, it's culvert time. If you want to approve these culverts for us so we can get the new culverts installed, that would be awesome.
What kind of trees
Are
were
these,
them?
are these replacements?
I'm not for sure what it says on there, but I know for sure a couple of them are brand new, and there may be an extension on another one. I won't say hackberry, or not hackberry, but mulberry.
Mulberry,
Yeah,
Yeah. They'd been there a lot of years.
they have. But they
It's like the one in our backyard though, it's hollow on the base.
Yeah.
And it's gotta go.
the big limbs are starting.
Yeah.
We had
So
some dead ones up there, and
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the culvert
Second.
report.
Milburn,
Yes.
Beerbauer,
Yes.
Weisenhunt.
Yes.
it's a little bit late now. Yeah, that's what I know. On side triangles, how to handle it from now on.
Okay. Any other updates you need to give us?
That's all
You
I've
need
got
that?
for tonight. Do you have anything for me that you need me to look at, or?
I think I'm good.
Give that to Becky?
They're good.
You guys have the copy?
Good.
Good? Okay.
All right.
See you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Yep.
Okay, item C now, I guess. Adopt a countywide letterhead.
So, for our document process and all the, you know, somebody here has started a new handbook, and it's very nice, it's written, it's got, you know, it's, back here. It has a nice format to it, it has a footer, it has, you know, everything's numbered very nicely, 1, 1, 1, 2 on certain pages and things like that. And so to add to that, I think that, and Mr. Beerbauer was onto something, he made a couple documents and he put a letterhead on it. And so there is a statute
To adopt a letterhead.
to adopt a letterhead, but it is our duty to do that, and so that all of our documents are,
And that's what they got. I saw the picture in the email. That's what
there was a
was
picture.
the courthouse.
This is the old letterhead. This is
Yeah.
probably what you've seen.
Yeah, and so I would like to have, and that one has a picture, and that just takes up a lot of space, and that can be, I think that we can have that with another document format, so just a font with Bourbon County to go at the top of a lot of our
Well,
procedural
that shows the
documents.
courthouse, which is really,
Yeah.
you know, I would like it to be broader, show more. I mean, if we're gonna do a picture, I would like
Mm-hmm.
to see it be more of a,
And
you know,
if you guys wanna go and do that and then bring a couple options. and-
Sure,
Right.
yeah,
Well,
that's
we're
what,
gonna
I
do-
think that's what we're gonna do.
That brings me to what I was gonna talk about anyway.
Exactly. So what I was gonna suggest is that we pick a font, or you get some fonts, and I get some fonts, Brandon gets some fonts, and we can bring back something that we want to, look
bet
at,
schools
for
get
everybody to
more
look
fonts.
at.
I'm not concerned about the font so much, but I was gonna talk about in commission comments about us having a logo competition and adopting a new logo out of that.
A what? Oh,
a logo competition.
Well,
So
and I thought that
when
too,
school-
for the
when
letterhead
When school
gets out in a
starts back
couple of
up.
weeks.
Oh, I see. I thought you wanted us to have a competition. I'm like,
No.
I am not doing that.
No, we'll put a competition out
sorry.
to all the school kids, to all the school kids, and they can draw a picture of what they would like the new Bourbon County
Gotcha. Okay.
logo to be, and we will put it on our letterheads, we will put it on the side of our trucks, we will put it on our equipment, and it'll be, you know.
So you're talking about next school year.
Things are changing, so
Sure.
we need to change our logo. on our-
Yeah.
You're talking about next school year.
Well, you can put it out now if you want, but I don't know if any of the kids are
I
gonna
don't
mess
think
with it
they're
over the
gonna mess
summer.
with it now. They're too busy
Yeah.
getting ready for summer.
Yeah, swim lessons.
I have no problem with that. I mean, I think we can go with, just doing a letterhead, or we can wait. I mean, we can keep the one we got now and then wait till we adopt it. a new one.
For some of these forms that we're doing, I would just really like us to have it for an official form. Now, this is not gonna fit at the top of all the forms, this big picture. I think that we need a Bourbon County,
Okay, so let's mess around with that and bring it next week. bring a couple
that'd be
examples.
wonderful, yeah.
And then next year we'll do, cause we can redo it. We can
August, we'll roll out our competition.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, you know, just because this is, we are in the process of this, and we are
can
trying to
even do it in
update
the
some forms and
summertime,
things.
but Put it out there in the paper, kids will, you know, there's a lot of summer programs.
Give 'em a
and stuff.
prize.
Sure, yeah, yeah, we
Offer a
certainly
prize
could.
for the winner.
The
Yeah.
library could host something, you know, that it could,
However you wanna do it.
I just
but
think we just need to get it started. As far as, so our documents and our forms and things can start to look really,
I would say, let's go ahead and do like we said for next week, come in with some examples.
Yes.
And then
yeah.
maybe, think about going ahead and doing the contest now.
That's fine.
So think about it by next week, I guess, have an idea for what the prize would be.
Sure, yeah.
And then we can promote it through the paper and through the schools and stuff, be something they can do by summertime. Put out the rules of it so we're not getting something with the
Yeah, I'll think about the rules. And you guys can worry about the
Battlestar
font.
Galactica there.
What?
I said you guys can worry about the
Star Wars.
font, and I'll work on my logo competition.
Yes, okay, you do, yes.
All right, so now, what's next there, Mr. Chairman?
Dump fees for employees.
Okay,
I like it just like it is.
okay. Well, so maybe we won't get anything done here. Maybe you like it too. So I move we end the waived dump fee, perk benefit, just due to inconsistencies in what and how much is allowed. And additional, I've been alerted it's pretty hard to track that benefit, to the employees. I'm gonna pay for mine either way. So,
Well, right now,
I just, it's been brought to me as a problem more than once, from more than one people, so.
I've not seen it, I've seen it the other way. I mean, I've seen that, I've heard complaints where previous, employees, previous, area, you know, that there was some inconsistencies on what people can use it for, and employees using it for their own personal benefit, that's fine. People that are using it for businesses and stuff like that. And they wrote a policy about it a couple of years ago, and I disagree with the policy they wrote at that time. But I do believe that, you know, this is one thing that, you know, it's been around for as long as the landfills have been around, or the dump's been around. And I just don't see it as I think we can solve the issues and tighten it down to where it's not abused. And I do believe that when you go in, especially if we go to a county employee ID card or badge, like some Public Works has got,
We're moving to everyone with.
yeah, then they would have to show the badge when they got there, and it would, because, you know, the couple times I've used it, I sign the paper.
Yeah, I appreciate your thought process there, but you know, county employees, we're all getting compensated for the job that we're doing, and, I don't know that we need to take any more.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't care one way or the other, to be honest with you. But we can always make it to where the hourly employees that actually keep the county running can use it for free and elected officials can't. Or the commission can't, however you wanna do it.
Is that who's abusing it?
I have no idea. I haven't had anybody complain about it getting abused lately, so I don't know. I mean, the problem is if it's gonna be a benefit, then we have to market it as a
Well, I think
benefit,
it needs
and
to
we
be a
have to
benefit
cover.
well, and I think there's been policy written on it, in the past. I don't know where it's at, but.
I don't think it's a decision we can make having it on the agenda the first time tonight.
No, you can table it, that'd be fine if you wanna table it and talk
And we
about
need to
it.
figure out what, if we actually run it as a benefit, what it's costing the county. What's it costing the taxpayers? You know what I mean? Cause it's, be just like, you would have to lump it in with all their benefits of their insurance and their wages and their, you know, all that stuff, so I don't know what it. Yes,
I think every county employee should get 1 day, 1 dump a month for free. Johnson County does that.
I'd say that, I mean, it's been a benefit for as long as I can remember, even back when my dad worked for the county, so, I mean,
I'm not against you getting to use it for free.
I mean, you know, you talk about an additional cost to the county, and I think, yeah, if you wanna do a study, we'll see. I don't think it's gonna be, near as high as giving it to cities under 400 population. So, I mean,
It depends, well, it depends on,
Different dump.
I mean, what are you
Well,
gonna?
that household trash, we do have to pay to haul
Yeah, that costs money.
somewhere.
well, we still pay for
Well,
gas and
and like
employees.
with you, once a month.
That have
I
to
don't
bury
think-
C and D.
I don't think their neighbors are gonna like them piling their trash up for a month.
Well,
No,
they
I'm
do it
talking-
anyway, and then you end up, you know,
I don't think there should be
more
a
than one
limit on
landlord
it. I mean, I
ends up with a
think,
whole
Yeah,
truckload
no,
of trash to take because they don't wanna pay for our trash service, so.
I think if you got a person tearing down a building or something like that and they're getting paid to do that, they shouldn't be allowed to get in there for that. But, I think that if they're cleaning out their garage and they need, you know, to me, it's, you know, we can table it till next week and I'll bring you how much they're making per year and how close they are to the poverty level. And then we'll see whether or not, you know, one little thing like going to the dump is
I'm not
that big
disagreeing.
of a deal.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
You know, so-
I don't have a, but.
I mean, I think we do something to solve the abuse of it, if it is being abused. I think most of them people are gone now, but, if it is being abused, I think we just work on that and then,
I'm not accusing anybody of, there's just, usually when there's complaints, you just take away the reason to complain, so, that's it, that's all it is. It's not to, I'm not pointing, I don't wanna point any fingers or anything, that's not what this
they
is.
do pretty good
At all.
themselves, so.
The what?
I said those that I'm pointing fingers at did a pretty good job of pointing fingers themselves, so I don't worry about them.
No, I just don't think it's a decision we can make on the first time it's on the agenda, so.
That is fine, that is fine. No, I didn't wanna anger anybody, I just thought it could be a topic of discussion.
So I think you have to say the motion fails for lack of a second, but you can table it to the next agenda.
Sure did, yeah.
Bring it back again.
That's why you don't make a motion until you have a discussion.
I was in 4H, so I know parliamentary procedure.
and have a discussion that fails if you don't.
I got the copies of Roberts.
So, motion fails due to lack of second, and then I'll make a motion that we table it for discussion next week.
I'll second.
Wiseman,
Yes.
Over,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay. Bourbon County mission statement.
Think we need a mission statement.
I agree.
Okay.
Did you write one?
Oh, no, I did not. I thought everybody would want to write one. I thought everybody would.
All right, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, had to get on there
So
though, right?
we'll have a contest.
We'll have a contest.
Just let everybody do it.
I'd agree, we need one.
Okay,
Yeah.
You guys wanna work on that?
you bring one too.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, put your
I'm
brain
not-
matter
I'm
to
not very
work.
good at putting words to paper. I'm not very good at speaking words, so I.
But you can, we can talk to people in the community and ask them what's important to them, and then, I can do that and compile one, and you can do that and compile one. Mr. Bear Ballard can. And we can
I
bring it
agree.
back.
Yeah.
Okay. When do you wanna have a mission statement voted on and adopted?
Do you want to discuss this?
Well, we can see what we got next week, and then, like I said, I'll be gone.
We can do it after he comes back.
I should be back by depending on, I think I'll be back by the 26th.
Okay, we can talk about the 26th then.
Just depends what the doctor says. Okay. Huh?
The 26th of May, or the
Yeah,
26th of
26th of
January,
May.
2026? or-
26th of May. Month we're in.
So bring a mission,
Is it
bring some
Memorial
ideas
Day?
on the 26th, is
Okay,
that what
so
we're
we
doing?
can't do it on the 26th of May, it's Memorial Day.
I don't
we're
have a
gonna
problem working on Memorial Day. I don't know what your guys' problem is.
I'm gonna be at about 8 to 9 cemeteries, so no.
No, you're not.
Well,
we'll do it-
with
so-
the cane,
Riding, maybe.
with a cane, but yeah, we got about 60 graves me and my wife take care of, so.
So, let me find my calendar.
There's a new flower shop in town.
So we wanna do it the 2nd of June then?
Yeah.
June 2nd. Okay. Okay. That's what we will do.
And there's always a Tuesday of that week too.
We'll just take the week off.
It won't hurt to miss a
We don't
week.
really get the days off
There's
anyways.
always a Tuesday.
Oh, and then speaking of calendar, are we ready for commissioner comments, I guess?
Are we done with the
Mission
mission
statement?
statement
Yeah.
conversation?
6/2/25.
6/2 of 25. Okay, yep. Commissioner comments.
I got a couple of things.
Go for it.
First, I am going to be unavailable after the 13th for a couple of weeks, so one of you two would need to take over the zoning committee on the 14th, Wednesday at 6 PM, or we need to cancel that meeting.
Does it have to have oversight by the commission, or?
That's the way the bylaws are
Bylaws
written.
read. I guess you can talk to the committee.
I've talked to them about, or I talked to the chairperson about whether or not they would, because that would move the timeline back, because they're gonna be one meeting shy of what we told them, what we outlined, so that moves the timeline back. They're usually out of here by 7:30.
And they do it on Wednesdays.
Yep, 6 to about 7:30. They put the timeline on
And so
that.
is that next week?
Yep, a week from this Wednesday.
17th?
14th.
14th.
We need a big old calendar right here.
Yeah, we do.
14th of May.
3-sided. full-sided.
Yes, or we can have big desk calendars.
Yeah.
You guys buy Caterpillar? Or John Deere?
Neither. I don't know. They
Whoever
buy
you buy your
Purple
equipment from, they'll bring you a bunch of calendars.
Purple
I'll
Wave.
guarantee you.
We got cats and John Deere.
Yeah, they'll bring you all the calendars you want.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a hat.
All right, and I got one other thing, and then I'll be quiet. So over the last several weeks, this board, we've dealt with some personal issues, some policy issues, and some safety issues. Some by complaint, some by our own observation and interviews with employees. This is going to be an ongoing process. I firmly believe that. Should be as we go along, and being involved in the day-to-day operations of our county. I hope that we don't have any super long meetings like we did last week, but sometimes there's a necessity. When I campaigned for this position of commissioner, I pointed out that there are two things that people complain about the most: taxes and roads. We'll discuss taxes because we're getting ready to come up into a budget. But roads kind of affects our taxes and budget greatly. In conversations with citizens during my campaign, we, came to one conclusion that, we've been doing the same things over and over again, and, the same complaints happen. And I said that, we need to have time for change. Maybe time to do some things a little different. During our transition period, myself and Commissioner Wisenhunt and Commissioner Kruger, former Commissioner Kruger, we had some similar discussions about restructuring and different things like that. So, on the same, on that line right there, I felt that it's time, especially over the last several weeks, that I believe that we need to start talking about doing some restructuring of departments, and our departments, not other elected officials. So tonight I would like to begin this process with a motion, and I move that we separate the landfill from Public Works using the revenue generated by the landfill to offset their budget. In this process, we will increase their employee numbers by 1, and we will work to utilize their existing equipment and get them up full operational. They are a revenue generating, which offsets a lot of their cost, but they're vital to this community, and I believe that it's that they would benefit more from having their own supervision and answering directly to the commission. So that's my move.
So in discussion on that, separating that, I believe will cause some additional costs to the county, because a director or they cost money. So they cost more money than just a supervisor that's under another director.
And I
And
said
so-
that same argument before when it was
okay.
brought up once before.
Okay,
And-
so you were where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and
So-
I believe that by putting them in their own department, that some of the money that we're going to, that they generate, that we save, I think we can offset that. I don't think they have to make the same money as the Public Works Director is now, because he's been here, I don't know, 4 or 5 years maybe, and he's
Public Works
gotten
Director
raises.
has a lot of responsibility.
Right.
I mean, they gotta-
And this would lighten up that load for Public Works to do other things more, put his attention to more other things than having to deal with them out there. Because they're kind of like an island. When somebody goes sick out there, they have a hard time finding anybody. They almost have to, force the person to go out there. And then what they get, they don't get people that are trained to do the job that's out there. They usually, especially the scale operation. So I just think that because they need an increase in personnel anyway. So I think by creating their own division and having their own personnel, that they could cover what they need to cover, because they got to cover Saturdays and stuff anyway. But I think it's time. Like I said, I had reservations in the beginning when it was first proposed, but just in light of what we've been having to deal with, I think that this would work better to lighten that load.
I think that we should give Bob a chance. Bob's agreed to help with some of those issues. I think we should give it a chance before we commit to spending money on something like that. I really do. I ask that you table this. I ask that you give me a little bit of time. I understand you've been working at it for a minute, and I just got here, but budget is coming up, and all this could be decided in budget sessions also, whether we could really afford to do this or not, because maybe it don't cost a little bit right now, but you separate it, job duties grow, things change, all of a sudden now you're paying another position a lot more money than you really thought that you were going to in the beginning.
And I agree, because
And so-
I feel that also that, I mean, like I said, I think that there's other areas that restructuring needs to be.
Yeah.
And like right now, I think we're really top heavy in a lot of our departments. And so, I mean, we thin this thing down and make it more streamlined and more operational
Yeah.
with less, utilizing the people we have.
Yeah.
I think we could cover those additional costs.
And so I think that it would be very fair to write up all of this restructuring, see what it looks like as a whole, and then do it, not just piece by piece. We need to make sure it all is cohesive together. I really do believe that.
Okay, well, I made my motion, so, I mean,
And I really
so.
I really
mean,
would like it to be tabled so we can talk about it rather than
Okay. Well,
move and.
that would be another motion if mine dies.
I haven't said anything yet.
Nope.
I didn't know that was gonna come up tonight. I've talked about that several times, restructuring, making it its own district. I think as it sits right now, it could probably pay for itself. The problem is we have a big building we gotta pay for. That's not paid for yet.
The building,
Yeah.
100,000 left on it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not paid for yet. Man.
All you have to do is not say anything.
If it's really that much of a tear for you, I move that we table this until next week.
You can't make a motion until this one dies.
Done.
That's part of the reason I'm here, parliamentary procedure. You have to deal with this motion. If it dies, you can make a motion.
If somehow I would have known we was gonna talk about this, I'd have brought my numbers in. So, because of that is the only reason I'm not gonna second it. Because we need to crunch the numbers and you guys need to, I mean, that's, man. Don't surprise me like that.
Well, I can't talk to you, so I won't have to surprise you. Okay, so now that's died.
That motion died.
So I move that we do continue this discussion, but I do believe that we should, well, I need to make a motion, don't I? I move we table your discussion, David, and as part of my motion, I'd like us to look at it as a whole.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded.
I mean, I want to keep the discussion
Oh,
going.
yeah.
And I want it to be a lot broader, anyway, so, yeah.
Bauer,
Yes.
Westman,
Yes.
Hilbert.
Yes.
Okay. So, back to commissioner comments.
I wasn't prepared for that in a commissioner comment, for sure.
Neither was I.
That's
Neither was I.
blindsided, David, thank you.
Neither was I.
Put it on the
Keeping you on your
agenda,
toes.
man.
Yeah.
Keeps the blood flowing. Definitely won't
There's a
fall
lot
asleep.
that you can expect.
Anyways,
Dang,
Expect the unexpected.
I know,
Back-
I'm
back
just gonna
commission-
hold mine back and just blow it all
back to
in there as
my
commissioner
commission
comments.
comments. Do you have anything?
Yeah, wonder if I should add to it, though. I was just gonna wrap it up.
Just read your comment and then I've got a short one afterwards. so.
All right, so tonight, I just wanted to thank the cooperating agencies, such as Mr. George, that has obviously kept on through years for years
Yes.
for,
Yes,
you
and
know,
I've had-
advocating
and
for
I've
our
had-
community.
And I've had several conversations.
You know, he's been advocating for our community through the changeover of this commission, just constantly, like, so,
He reached
really,
out to all
thank
of
you
us,
to,
so.
yeah, thank you to, you know, cooperating agencies that Mr. George represents, and then other Bourbon County residents for their determination to bring, the commission things they'd like to see addressed in our county. And, you know, I hope that and you all keep that coming, because that's how we're gonna get things done. So I'd also like to thank our county councilor Bob. You said you'd step up and you'd help us out, to fill some of those identified gaps, and I appreciate it. Furthermore, a big thank you to Greg Motley for the commitment he's made to donate his time in the budget process. I really, really appreciate that, Greg. I received a lot of feedback about you, and I think Susan appreciated your assistance too, she had said. So I can't speak for the other two, but I know that I'm not much help in the budget process yet. I'm actually just dead weight. You guys are just dragging me. You know what I mean? And I'm slowing you down. But I am committed to improving and becoming more proficient. And so thank you all again.
I want to thank you for jumping right in and taking the bull by the horns, as it would be. And I guess following that, I'd like to thank all the citizens that are involved somehow, whether it's coming here and speaking to us, or you're involved in a committee, or you just give me a phone call and vent to me. But with that being said, I would like everyone to keep Laura, our register of deeds, in their prayers. She is fighting pneumonia. She has made it home. She was hospitalized for a little while, but she has made it home, so keep her in your prayers that she makes a speedy recovery, because she is a vital piece of keeping the county running and keeping everything up to date. And with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
I guess. We have to go around one more time.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
Milburn? Yes. Beardog.
Yes.
As long as that one was, we're still out here 2 hours quick.
Thank you.